Hello. Hello, everybody. How are you? Welcome to another IELTS journey with Fabi. And this one is a special one because it's a warm up for the workshop IELTS Booster, which starts on Monday. Okay. So if you haven't joined yet, okay, make sure you either type join in the comments or you can go to the link in the bio in my Instagram. Okay, so you can go there, and with this workshop, I will tell you the way to get the score you need on the IELTS test and do the test only once. Okay, so yeah, so when you're ready, just can do that. If you've done that already, that's great. Okay, you receive all the information for the workshop that starts on Monday. Okie dokie. All right, so let's get started. Okay, so today I'm going to talk about one of the biggest mistakes that most people are making. Okay, and it's something that it does look like the right thing to do, but it's a gigantic mistake. Okay, so how many of you are scrolling the internet, YouTube, Instagram, Google, for tips for the IELTS test? How many of you are doing that? Good morning. Some people are saying good morning. So, how many of you go to Google and type tips for the IELTS test? How many of you do that? Yeah, I know lots of you do it. All right. However, IELTS tips are not going to help you. Karen is doing it while he's doing it. I know, guys. Yeah, lots of people are doing it. Did you know that just doing that, just going over this tip, just Googling tips, it's not going to help you? I've never seen anyone get the score they need just with tips from the internet. And I'm going to tell you why today. Okay, guys, I'm going to tell you why. Okay. So don't get me wrong. You can look at those tips, but those ones are information about the test. That's it. You should Google it to get to know the test, to get information about the test. But that shouldn't replace studying for the test. Okay? How many of you have a playlist on YouTube that says IELTS? How many? How many of you have, if you go, you know, you when you have your Instagram and you can go to everything that you saved? How many of you have loads of things about IELTS? How many? Come on, guys, be honest with me. I know you do. I know you do. You and you and you. You on YouTube, you on Instagram. I know you do. Okay. And just a question, just out there. Okay. You have your playlist on YouTube and you have your little secret spot on Instagram with all those tips for the IELTS test. How many times do you actually go there to watch and read? Okay, someone is doing this. Good. All right, guys. So think about that. And if you take the time to watch that stuff, you will see that everything is really superficial. Very, very superficial. Okay. This kind of information, and that's what I tell you here. And I'm very honest with you. What I share with you here is to help you understand the test, give you an idea of the test, but that's not enough. I don't have the time to share everything I know about the IELTS test here with you guys, unfortunately. That's why we have the workshop. And even in the workshop, I don't have time to share everything that you need to get the score you need. Okay. So that's something that we should be thinking about in our journey. For example, as you probably know, lots of people get in touch with me and they say, "Hey, Fabi, I need the score for the IELTS test." Okay. So usually they say, "Oh, Fabi, I need to do the IELTS test." And then I have, if you have gotten in touch with me on Instagram, you know the things I always ask you. I will ask you, okay, what score do you need? What do you think your level is at the moment? Which test are you doing and when? These are my main questions. What's your level at the moment? Oh, and have you done the test already? These are my questions. Okay. And then the person will say, "Oh, I need my score. I'm gonna do the test in 2 months. I need 6 overall. I'm gonna do the academic. I've never done the test before." I say, "Okay, cool." And then my next question is, "Are you studying?" And sometimes people will say, "Yes." And I say, "Oh, cool. How are you studying? Are you studying with a private teacher? Are you doing a course? What are you doing?" And the person says, "I'm watching videos on YouTube." Mhm. Guys, watching videos on YouTube is not studying. Mm-mm-mm. No, it's not. All right. It's because it's not enough. It's superficial. I know that what I'm sharing with you guys here today is not enough. I'm here with you guys today to share information about the test, to share something I see that doesn't work very well. I'm here to help you, okay, with information. But if you watch this live and you do the test tomorrow, I'm sure you're not going to get the score because that's not enough. Okay. That's something that I want you guys to understand. And I see that happening every day. So when people start studying with me for the IELTS test, the first rule is stop watching videos on YouTube. That's the first rule. No more videos about the IELTS test. Stop. That's the first rule. Why? First, because I think that they don't help. If you are studying, like for example, if a student is doing my course, they are studying, so they don't have to go anywhere else. They should be following my method. All right, that's one thing. And sometimes I will say something, and the video will say something else, and then you would go, "Oh my god, Fabi said this, but the video said that." We call this conflicting information. That's conflicting information. And then what happens to you? You get confused and you don't know what to do. Okay? You go, "Oh my God, Fabi said this and the video said that. What do I do?" Okay? Honestly, you should do what gets you the best score. That's what you should be doing. But the problem is, most videos on YouTube, the information there is very superficial. Maybe they say one thing and then you try to apply, and then maybe it's not exactly what you need. And that's another thing we have to think about also, guys, is the fact that as you know, okay, I've told you many times, I feel that each person's IELTS journey is very personal. Okay, each person's journey is extremely personal. So what works for me might not work for you. So we have to find out what works for us, but you have a way to find out what works for you. Okay, you have to know, "Oh, this works for me, so I'll keep doing it. This doesn't work." So when you have too much information, that's another thing also. When there's too much information, you don't know what to do, you don't know what's working. And that can be a big, big problem for you too. All right, just to be able to apply whatever you are learning. Okay. So that's one of the main difficulties, okay, that you might face if you have too much information. Yeah. All right. It confuses you. And that's one of the main things that are stopping people from getting the score they need is confusion. Confusion is a big problem. Okay, because if you are confused, you can't perform. Okay, so what you should do, you should be following one method, doing it one way, and check if it works for you. Okay, just an example that I have. I was helping a student, and then she had done the test 10 times already. Okay, and the first thing I do, so when I start working with anybody, okay, the first thing I do is I ask the person to do a writing test. Okay, let's talk about writing because that's the biggest problem most people have. So this girl, she did the test many times, and then she got in touch and said, Fabi, I need help. Okay, so I told her, okay, so just do the test. I'm gonna send you a test, and you do it, and then we can check it together. I said, okay. And then when we went to check it together, there were on her essay, there were things that were really weird that she was doing. And I was like, why do you have this in your paragraph? And then she said, oh, because I saw this video online. And on the video, the person said, if you do this, you will get a 7. And that's why I do it, because I saw that on the video. And then I said, okay, did you do this on the day of the test? And she said, yes. Did you get a 7? She said, no, I got a 6. And I said, okay, so that's an indication that that advice was not very good. And she's like, oh, yeah. You see? So sometimes, guys, maybe the advice was good, but maybe she misunderstood. I don't know. So what happens is you have to get the strategy, you have to apply and see if it works. That's what you have to do. All right. That's the cycle of improvement when it comes to the IELTS test. You get something, you apply, and you check if it works. That's why I say that maybe 1 month is not enough to practice, because you need that cycle. Okay. And again, if you saw my live yesterday, you know that we were talking about speaking and writing. Why it takes longer to improve? Because of this, because sometimes it will take you longer because you have to go through this process. What works for me? What's the best way for me to write? You don't know. So if you get random tips of people who don't know you, then you will try and it won't work. Okay? So that's one thing that we have to think about. All right? That's why I think that, yeah, you can watch videos on YouTube. You're watching this on YouTube right now, but just don't think that that's enough. Don't think that that's how you're going to get your score. Okay? Because it's not. What might happen sometimes, you might get confused. You might get really confused. Okay, guys? So following lots of different methods. Okay, it's confusing for you, and that's not something that you want on the day of the test, to be confused. All right, okay, so that's one of the things that you have to think about. All right, guys, if you have questions, you can pop questions in. All right, so just to remind you, okay, on Monday we have the IELTS Booster Workshop. Okay, if you haven't joined yet, you can type join in the comments and you get a message from me with a link that you can use to join the workshop. Okay, so if you don't want to type join here in the comments, you can go ahead and go to the link in bio. All right, goody goody. Okay, so as I was saying, okay, the main reason why most of these strategies are not going to work, okay, it's because, remember, the IELTS test is a combination of strategies and English. Okay. So sometimes, okay, you have all the right strategies, things that you know what works for you, but you're still not getting your score. So what do you have to do? You have to improve your English. Okay. You have to improve your English. All right. So when you improve your English, then you'll be able to achieve your score. You see? So again, if you go ahead and you Just watch all the videos available on YouTube. All right, about the IELTS test. And if you don't improve your English, then you have a problem. Okay? And again, most people who are studying for the IELTS test, they already have a good level of English. Most people are intermediate to upper intermediate, meaning that you know English already. But if you have to improve your English, how are you going to improve it? What do you need to improve? That's when you have to really analyze what you're doing. Check what you have to improve. Yesterday night, I don't know if you managed to catch the live last night. So we had a special live about speaking. And I shared some of the mistakes, some of the most common mistakes my students are making on the IELTS test. So I shared that. And I actually shared with you the grammar that most people get wrong. I shared that with you. But I told you, I said, look, this is the grammar that most people get wrong. Okay. However, maybe it's not your problem. So sometimes when you're watching too much online, okay, when we're watching too much online, we will get things that maybe they're not going to work for us. So maybe they will say, oh my God, you have to improve your passive voice because passive voice is important. Yeah. But maybe you know how to use it. You don't make mistakes with the passive. So why are you going to spend time on it? Mm-hmm. So we have to think about that too. How are we going to improve? Why are we going to improve it? Okay. So that's why I say again that your IELTS journey is really personal and it should be personalized. And you should be doing what works for you. Okay. And sometimes when you see something online and you try to apply, it can be even more confusing because maybe you were doing it right since the beginning and then you try to change it and then you go, oops, it didn't really work. Okay. So we are always trying to improve what we're doing wrong. Okay. So we improve what we're doing wrong, but what we're doing right, we keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it. Okay. And maybe even improve that. But this should be the cycle of improvement for the IELTS test. Okay. And sometimes when we're watching too much stuff online, okay, then we get really confused, really confused. And that gets me really upset sometimes. Okay. When people get really confused with the information that they are given for the IELTS test. All right. Okay. That's my personal opinion. All right. Okay. So I have some things I'd like to share with you. Oh, yeah. Okay. So I have a big list of things here. Let me see. Mhm. Yes. Okay. So, one of the main things that also some people forget to do. Okay. So, people will sometimes watch some tips on YouTube. Okay. And say that that's studying. I don't really think it is. All right. And then you're going to try the test. And then you do a practice test. Maybe you don't get the score you need. And then you watch more videos on YouTube and you practice again and you don't get the score you need. And then what do you do? Okay. So, another thing that you should be doing is actually checking your progress. Okay. So, just making sure that what you're doing is being recorded and you are keeping track because then you can actually see your progress. Okay. Even my students, sometimes I ask them to think about the strategies they're going to use. Even in writing, listening and reading, which strategies are you going to use today? Okay. What are you trying to improve today? And then you think about it. Okay. So basically, you start your test thinking about what you're going to do. Okay. So you think about it and then you go ahead and you apply. And after you apply, you check if it worked for you. Okay, so that's one of the things that most people forget. Most people forget about that. Just to measure their progress, to make sure that they are doing the right thing. Because um, you don't need a lot of tests to progress if you do it this way. But what I see sometimes is that people doing tests every day, every day, every day, and they keep getting the same score after score after score after score. They keep getting the same scores. And if you're getting the same scores, you have to stop and analyze it. Okay. Sorry. You stop and you analyze it and you reflect on it and then you try to improve. Okay. So that's what you should be doing to be able to progress. Okay. And always analyzing and thinking, this is a strategy. Okay. Is it good for me? Does it work for me? So that's something that you can think about. But the best way to know if something is working for you is by checking. So you think about it, you try it out, and then you check your score. And then you see if it works for you. That's the best cycle. Okay. The best cycle by far. By far. Okay. But just keep in mind that sometimes what you see on YouTube, what you watch, is actually quite superficial. Mm-hmm. Okay. So that's one of the things that I want you guys to think about. All right. Okay. So do you have any questions for me yet? You can pop questions in there. If you have any. Okay. Make sure you've joined the workshop, IELTS Booster. All right. Okay. So it's going to do a recap of what I said today to you. All right. So, first of all, please don't think that watching videos on YouTube is studying for the IELTS test. It's not. Okay. So, watching videos on YouTube is not studying for the IELTS test. Why not? The information you get usually from videos on YouTube is extremely superficial. Okay. So most videos, they don't go deep into strategies and what you have to do. That's one of the reasons. Okay. Things tend to be quite superficial. Okay. Sometimes also the information you get can be conflicting. Okay. Let's say you are studying with a method that you trust, and then you go online and you see something else and you try to and you try to sorry, and you try to combine, and then you go, oh my god, I'm so confused. And guys, you don't want to be confused in your IELTS journey. No. Confusion is the worst. Okay, so that's one thing. So the reason I think you should be careful with videos on YouTube is information is superficial, you get conflicting information. All right, conflicting information, and it's not enough. It's not enough. What I'm telling you today is not enough. I know that. I'm here helping you learn more about the IELTS test, but it's not enough. Okay. So you should really be thinking about what works for you. Okay. And then maybe following a method, choosing a teacher, choosing someone to help you. Okay. And have it personalized to you, because everyone's journey is different with the IELTS test. Okay. So most of the time, just tips are not enough. You need strategies, and then you need to improve your English. But to do that, also, you need to know what you need to improve when it comes to strategy, and you need to know what you need to improve when it comes to English. And that is something that you have to find out by yourselves. Of course, with the correct method, in the correct way. Okay, because sometimes you get something online, you see something, you apply, and it doesn't work. All right, so we have to be very, very, very careful with that. Okay, so that's my main message for you today. And I have a question here. From Karen, she said, which test is more difficult, academic or general? Karen, I think they are the same. Okay, they are the same. Uh, the academic reading looks harder because you have three long texts. Okay. And then with the general, you have three parts again, two short texts, two medium text, and one long text. So it looks easier. However, the scoring is different. Okay. So if you want a 6 uh, in academic, I think you need maybe 24, 25 points. But if you need a 6 in general, you need 30 points. So I don't think it's one that it's easier or harder. Okay. When it comes to the writing part, the essay is basically the same. There's no difference. But part one, no, sorry, task one, for academic, you have those charts and you have to write about the charts. And in general, you have the email, right? I personally think writing an email is easier. Some people think that writing the description is easier because you don't have to think about anything because the information is already there. But some people think it's very complicated to get the information from the picture. So I honestly think it's very personal, and I don't think one is easier than the other. Okay. I think you should do the one you need to do. Okay, Karen. So, Karen, why do you need the IELTS test? Is it for immigration purposes? Are you going to study abroad? What are you going to do? Okay, so yeah, because I don't think there's any difference. I think they're the same. Well, speaking and listening is the same. All right. So just the way the test is a little bit different, but the scoring in the end, most of my students, okay, let's say that one student, she said, oh, I need the IELTS test for immigration, and then she started studying the general one, and then she goes, oh no, I think I'm going to study, so I'm going to do the general. And then the person starts practicing for the general one. Guess what? They get the same score. Usually is the same. So I don't think one is easier than the other. And it's quite personal, too. Unless you really think that maybe writing an email is much easier than describing a picture, then yes, it'll be easier for you. Okay. But if you like, I have some students say, oh, I don't have any idea. Like, I don't have good ideas for the letter. So I much rather do task one from the academic because then all the information is there and I just have to write about it. So it's really personal. Okay. But you should be doing the one you need, not the easiest one. Okay, guys, do the one you need. If you need general, the general. If you need academic, you do academic. All right. Any other questions for me? Someone saying hi on YouTube. Good. Any other questions? Let me see. I don't think there were any questions. Let me go back to it. Okay. Lots of people saying they watch lots of videos on YouTube. Guys, it's okay to watch these videos, but just don't think that's enough. That's all I wanted to tell you today. It's not enough. Okay. Definitely not enough. Okay. Let me see. Any other questions here? No, I think that was it. I think that was it. Okay. Some people saying hello, hello. All right. Okay. Any other questions for me? No, that was it. Yeah. Okay. So that was me today then. All right, guys. So yeah, be careful with what you watch online. Okay. There's lots of conflicting information. Okay. Okay. Another question here. I want a very high score and I really need to learn advanced vocabulary. I think so, because what is your score? If you need 7 or more, yes, because 7 is advanced, more academic. Okay. So just keep in mind that it will be good for you to improve your vocabulary because then the reading part will be easier for you and you'll be able to use some of this vocabulary also in your writing. Okay, so if you're studying for the IELTS test, if you need a high score, yes, I think it's worth spending some time improving your vocabulary. And you can improve your English. And why do you need the IELTS test? You need the IELTS test because you're going to study abroad. So if you improve your English, you will be better at university. Why are you doing the IELTS test? For immigration purposes, because you want a better job. If you improve your English, your job interview will be better. Take the opportunity to improve your English. Okay, guys, that's something that I think people forget. People focus so much on the test and they forget that they're doing the IELTS test for a main goal. People forget that sometimes. Okay, cool. Another question. How many times do you think generally a person needs to get the score? Okay. So Karen, again, it depends on where you are at the moment, okay, and how much time you have, okay. So for example, let's say you need a 6 on the IELTS test and you are intermediate level, all right. So if you have that, maybe it won't take you that long. But if you are intermediate level but you need a 7, okay, intermediate is 5, so you are 2 points away from your score. Okay, so maybe that will take you a little bit longer. Okay. And I think that people should be doing the test when they're ready. All right. Just when they're ready. But it varies from person to person. Okay. It also depends on your journey. So if you have been studying, okay, and then you do the test and then you change the method and all that stuff. Okay. So it's really personal. But yeah, it depends on where you are and where you need to be. Just think about it. If you are 5, you need a 7. So you're 2 points far. Maybe it'll take you longer. No, I'm sure it'll take you longer. Okay. But it depends on the person. All right. So it's for a master's degree abroad. Okay, master's degree abroad. Yeah. So just think about it. You're going to do a master's degree. It's worth taking the time to improve vocabulary, isn't it? Isn't it? Okay, someone said, I want to go abroad, but I'm not having any classes. Can I improve my English to move abroad? Um, I think, um, mm, yes, well, you can try, but I do think that when you are studying, especially with a teacher or in a course, it's much easier, much easier because you have then, sorry, you have that person helping you. If you're doing with a private teacher, online course, so I like courses. Also, you have that commitment, okay, that there's always someone helping you there and you have to meet with this person. Okay, so I think, guys, I think it's worth preparing yourself for anything you're going to do in English. So if you're going to move abroad, if you're going to study abroad, yes, take the time to improve your English so you can succeed when you get to where you want to be. Okay, so if you are advanced, if you're advanced, yeah, so if your level is advanced at the moment, okay, you would be around a 7 on the IELTS test. So if your English is advanced, your English is there already. What you need to do is to learn the strategies so you can get a 7 on the IELTS test. Okay, so remember, it's always a combination of strategies and English. Okay, there's some questions on YouTube. Okay, yeah. So I have a score fine, but I need a 6. How can I improve? Okay, lots of ways. First of all, you have to check what you're doing right and what you're doing wrong. That's the best way to improve. Okay, because if you're doing it and you're getting the same scores over and over again, okay, you need to practice and you have to find out what you're doing wrong. And then you improve it. That's why, again, I said, guys, that it's a bit personalized. Okay, each person is different. Okay, so you analyze your test and you go, oh my God, I'm doing this and it's not working. I have to improve that. All right. And so on. And that's how you should be doing. Okay. So someone said, thank you. Practice is key. I agree. I completely agree. Practice is key. Yes. Okay. Then said, one more thing, if you don't mind, give me some hidden points to improve my preposition. Okay. So, Harry, there is no hidden points. There's no hidden points. Okay. Like I said before, Harry, I don't know what kind of practice you have been doing. Okay. So you probably know the preposition is your weakness. Okay. So what do? There are two ways of doing it. You can look at prepositions. You can look at text in English and pay attention to prepositions. But I think that the best way to learn is by using it. So if you're having problems with prepositions, okay, you can read more things in English, pay more attention, okay, and but I think maybe again, Harry, I don't know how you're studying, okay. So if you're practicing for the IELTS test and if you have someone helping you, just ask the person to point out to you, okay, this is the type of prepositions you get wrong, and that will help you more than me telling you what to do, okay. But once you have what you're doing wrong, then you just have to practice it a little bit more and pay more attention. I don't know if you guys saw my live from yesterday, where I talk about, yeah, guys, go watch. And the live from last night will not be available after Sunday. So you have like 24 hours to watch it. Okay. I talk about that there, the fact that you get feedback and sometimes you don't apply. So Harry, if you are aware of your mistakes, okay, just try to remember them. And every time you do something, you check if you're doing it wrong. All right. And of course, practice it. Okay. But how you practice it, it depends on your necessity. Okay. And then Harry is agreeing with Louisa. Louisa agreeing Harry. So you both agree that you need practice. That's great. I agree too. And then give management to practice. Okay. Well, it's difficult. Like I said before, guys, really difficult for me to give you everything here. Okay. My recommendation is go to the workshop. You have lots of information there, lots and lots of information there. Okay. If you haven't joined the workshop yet, you can go to Instagram and type join in the comments, or you can go to the link in the bio. Okay. Link in the bio, because I don't have enough time to give you everything here. Okay. And again, it's quite personalized. So for me, it's sometimes a little bit hard to help you guys because I don't know you very well. Okay. So I try my best here to help you with what I can. Okay. Any more questions? Anything? No? All right. Okay. So I'm going to go now. All right. I will be back, I think, on Monday or Tuesday. I'm not sure yet. I'll let you know when I'm back. All right. And I'll see you at the workshop. All right. See you at the workshop on Monday, the first class. Woohoo. Very exciting. Very, very exciting. Have a nice day, you too. All right. Okay. So I'll see you at the workshop. All right. Bye.